To the Jin Air SSL Series 2017 Challenge broadcast with Wolf and Rapid, where we have...
And Probius.
Yeah.
Can't
you
forget
put him
Probius.
upside down, though.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Let me see that, Pro.
When I was a little kid, my sister used to turn me upside down in the swing and leave me. It's
Yeah, there definitely is some sort of mechanism in his belly.
Yeah, see, there's so what you do is you rip off of his head like, okay, well, you got to hold the probe. You rip off his head and there's like Velcro. And that's probably really painful, but probes feel no pain. That's why they're merciless killing machines. So if you look inside, he's actually, like, inside the probe is a merciless killing machine. I just don't know what it does yet. So, sorry guys, we're like here dissecting probes on the SSL challenge.
There's an on switch.
In case you guys can't tell,
I think it's too bright to see what
we hate probes. Yeah, I think it does. Does it glow in the dark? I don't actually know what the probe does aside from build probe. Okay, this is like in the wrong place. Oh my god, my sultry voice is back. All right, so yeah, in case you guys can't tell, this is a little bit of a more casual attitude to the stream. Somewhere out there, somebody's like, "Why don't they talk about the games?" But just so you know, we're in a little bit more of a casual setting. Wolf and I kind of chilling out with, oh, by the way, some of the best StarCraft players in the world. And we want to thank you guys for joining us. Get out there, spread the word. We are here on not MyTube, but YouTube, and broadcasting Challenge and Premiere for the time being. Once again, working on getting other options available. But yeah, for the time being, some super sick games. We've gotten to see triple starport battle cruiser builds. Oh my god, it's so cool.
And the Glad plane.
And the Glad plane. Ansible on Twitter just let me know that in case you guys have not seen the wonder that is the subreddit, what is it, Jin Air Jin Airplane. Yeah, that's what it is. So it's /r/Jin Airplane. They have Glad planes, Mad planes, Sad planes, Plaid planes.
Plaid planes?
Yeah, man. It's all there. So definitely go check that out if you want your Jin Air fix. Also, if you want your Jin Air fix, you can watch literally every broadcast of the SSL this season. We've got Jin Air planes over there. We've got Jin Air planes over there. If you watch the Korean broadcast, they actually have full-scale models. Well, not full-scale, but scale models of Jin Air planes all over the place.
Yeah, look at them over there. This is the Korean stream right now.
See, they've literally got 4 Jin Air planes in that picture. Look at the big one they have on the desk.
All right, take a screen. If you're bored during the breaks, take a screenshot of this, and you can actually play the game of how many triangles are in this triangle, how many Jin Air planes are in this shot. Okay?
Literally so many Jin Air planes. Oh my god! All right.
So let's look at the map pool going into this one. It's going to be Losira versus Ryung. Now, if you haven't watched StarCraft in a while, you might go, "Oh, Ryung is still around. Pretty good player. Been around for a long time, actually." Just recently nearly made a GSL Finals, and actually I would say is significantly the favorite going into this series. A bit of a surprise that he has made such a big resurgence recently, but also perhaps on that note, a big surprise he did not make it into Premier. But we've already had some near upsets this evening, so again, anything could happen. And we're going into Frost, so that map is back. It was voted upon by the players. I don't like 4-player maps, but historically that map was considered to be very balanced and very well liked by the players. So we're going to see that one into Overgrowth, and then Belshir Vestige to close it out.
Indeed. Yeah, so 2 more new players. Also, if you guys are big Zerg fans out there, you're not going to get a whole lot of it here in Challenger. Losira, the only Zerg player here in this league, so really kind of a surprise for me. I mean, he's always been like really, really strong, both IRL and in the game. The guy is jacked.
I'm looking at him right now.
Oh my god.
Dangerous.
He's actually just right over there, yeah. He
Fast
was like,
hands too, man. Fastest fingers in the East.
What is that thing about the world where like you can go east and west, but you can't go like north and south or something like that? I never understood that.
I mean, you can go north and south, actually.
I was just like, yes, but I mean, it like ends at some certain point, like the poles, but not this. I don't understand. Well, he is in the east over here, and he is incredibly handsome, both in and out of game. And he's the only Zerg player in Challenge, so got to get it while you can.
Well, look, it's a round-robin system, and that's the cool thing is if you like any of these players or any of the players in Premier, they're not going to get knocked out in the first round.
Nope.
They're not going bye-bye. They'll be here for a while.
They will be here for a while. And yeah, here he is on your screen, Losira. Has definitely had his ups and downs. I wouldn't say like the strongest Zerg player out there by any means, but he's good enough to be here in Challenger, so let's let him prove himself in his first matchup here tonight.
So, he's got a pretty rad hairstyle. I never thought I'd see Losira go full perm into the curls. He's never quite rocked it before, but he's coming up with a new style. Yeah, he's coming up with a new style today. He looks good. but he is the underdog. Losira, once a GSL runner-up, never repeated that performance, but had pretty good Pro League results for many years. And Ryung, one of the great TVT snipers, in fact, in GSTL, but now, recently got a new sponsor and is looking to be on fire in the GSL. And again, one of the favorites to get out of this group and go back to Premier through the fast lane.
Look at that hand heat pack micro right there. Flipping it, catching it. Oh my god. Literally the most skilled. Yeah, like you said, really coming back to form in a lot of ways. Made round of 4 of this season of GSL and just looked pretty unstoppable. Now, he was the unfortunate sacrifice that we had to have so that the Stats vs. 2 finals coming up in 2 days.
Only one can lose, the other must win.
Yes, in fact, that is true.
That's kind of the theme of the finals, looking at the opening video and stuff for the GSL.
That's a good way to put it.
Both players have historically lost their finals. Sue a little bit more than Stats. Stats, again, that title of the WESG at the time tournament never happened, didn't exist.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Or WECG or whatever, whichever WE tournament that one was. He won the Korea qualifiers, but it wasn't a Star League, it wasn't a tournament, it was just a qualifier. That's the only title he's ever had. Sue has been close, 3-time GSL finalist. But yeah, that's another tournament for another time. But as you mentioned,
I think he's 4-time GSL finalist.
Well, now, yes.
Okay,
it was 3 until this one. It hasn't happened yet, but yeah, he's technically a finalist.
Anyway, we're not even talking about that game. We're here talking about Ryung, and what a good player he is now. Really renowned for his TVT recently. Every time I watch his stream, he's like the only guy that can like really just consistently take out guys like Maru, like Innovation when they've been streaming. It's just like, oh wow, this guy just knows that matchup so well. But how is his TVZ?
I mean, his TVZ has, I wouldn't say it has been like a weakness for him. It's just not as strong as his TVT. And the question is, of course, going into this one, how well he's going to be able to fare against a super aggressive player like Losira. Now, Losira is known for his hyper-aggression, staying on 3 bases. People were saying he was like the mini Jelizerg when Jelizerg was actually playing StarCraft 2 before military after the transition from StarCraft 1 on StarTale. He's an aggressive Zerg player. I think Ryung's aggressive style kind of clashes with that poorly for him. I'd say playing a safer, more defensive style and going into the late game is the better way to play it because I feel his late game is vastly superior to that of Losira's.
Well, we'll get a chance to find out. SSL, brand new season. Glad to have it back and glad to have these players here playing in Challenge, getting another chance to really prove themselves. So, looks like we are about to get into our first game in our 3rd match in the first day of our first round of SSL Challenger Fly Better Fly.
Here we go in top right. It is Losira in purple on this map.
Like, no, he's not in purple. He's in black right there. Indeed, he is. And down on the bottom of his map in the blue is TES Ryung. You know what TES stands for?
No.
Team Esports.
Is that actually what TES stands for? I was just thinking it was TES. But
yeah, so it's an Italian team that actually puts out a lot of great news articles and stuff. A lot of them are actually in Italian, so if you guys are part of that community, it's a cool resource. And they do actually sponsor quite a bit of players. Ex-GSL finalist Top, who also streams a lot, part of TES, along with a lot of other great players.
I'd say Top never got the notoriety he deserved for his top GSL placings back in the day. An old OGS favorite. But
okay, so we can actually talk about what's going on right here. Gas, Pool, both of them coming out. Gas before Pool, so it's going to be a more of an aggressive start here for Losira. Not going to go hatch first or anything crazy right now. That is just being started here, and we don't have a natural on the way just yet for Ryung.
Ooh, I think he just barely missed that Overlord Scout. He may have seen it. We actually didn't get a vision check, unfortunately. We don't have control over that right now. So the cool thing about this is what he did was super technical there because this is a 4-player map. So he went up to see if he could find the Overlord, which would have been down at the exact timing. If you see it, you know where to scout later. You know exactly where your opponent has spawned. Based on this Reaper rally, I don't think he did see it. The Overlord can see further than the SCV, so the Overlord will scout the SCV and the CC, then turn around. So Ryung, despite this super awesome technical move, unfortunately misses out, does not get the correct scout, and his Reaper is going to go the incorrect decision, or the incorrect location. As a result, you can see the Overlord here. The bad guy, Losira, gets all the technical info without any drawback with that quick pull. Had Ryung stayed a little bit longer, well, he would have definitely seen the Overlord, but it's cool to see technical things like that in action in StarCraft 2.
And they can really have a real effect on the game right now. Third base going down for Losira. Had that Reaper been rallied in the correct direction, definitely could have stopped that drone from being able to get out there and plant that third base down. So there we go. Gotta position my mic correctly.
That's all right. We're chilling. We're kind of. I've never really cast on a couch like this before, so definitely taking some time to get used to.
Yeah, I mean our DX Racer chairs are great that we use traditionally, but these are this is actually like a sofa that we're just kind of chilling out on.
It's not really the way that you position your diaphragm for your voice either. Also,
no, my diaphragm has never cast in this position before.
Well, we're going to see a quick tech lab actually. So potentially a Banshee opener here going to the main base as 2 Hellions are reactored out from that factory, and the Reaper continues to be a nuisance. 1 Hellion going to come over here, catch this Ling. So vision control right now in terms of ground units in favor of Ryung, as we see a Roach Warren coming up here, and it's going to be Raven out of the starport instead of going down that Banshee path. Ling is again trying to do a little bit of a check scout here, and this Roach Warren is placed right up at the front, so Losira almost certainly saw that, or excuse me, Ryung almost certainly saw that.
So you're going to know that Roaches are in fact out there stopping Hellion production, by the way, after these 4. They've already gotten a decent amount of damage done, sniping off quite a few Lings. Misses that one. There we go. Taking it out. And not even losing... okay. Not even losing one. I was a little bit fast on that prediction.
This is unfortunate. He is just barely going to see the Raven. The reason that you saw Cloak twice was because he was actually going to fake it. Now he's actually going to commit to it, so perhaps I'm wrong in that regard, but it appeared that he was going to, fake the Cloak so the Overlord thinks he's going, then the Raven pops out and he's like, aha, you thought I was going for the Banshees. He knows the Roaches are on the way. The Banshee is going to be helpful in the defense of this. He does, again, cancel the Cloak now after showing to the Overlord, so he's being like super meta, either that or super indecisive, as he tightens his wall now with the 3rd CC. All he needs to do to remain on even footing here is defend the initial Roaches that are coming across. Because Losira already scouted the starport with the tech lab, he's not going to overcommit to Roaches, just I believe 7 or so that he made. That's the 7 right there. And if Ryung defends this and holds on to the CC, he'll be in good shape to transition. Here's that Banshee, and he can drop some auto turrets down here as well.
Yeah, so I mean the auto turrets are going to get cleared out, and Hellions are not great at defending against Roaches, but eventually this Banshee will be able to take them all out. Now, the Roaches are going to get a decent amount of damage done, even if it's just to the worker account. 5, soon to be 6, actually just 5 workers taken out. And now really the Banshee kicking in, all of these Roaches will go down.
Not to mention the fact that he targeted several SCVs, delayed that bunker, delayed the CC. Going to get even one more SCV here, going up to 6. So it gets several SCV kills, takes about an 18 worker lead, has a safe 3rd base now, totally uncontested, could take a 4th fairly soon, and knows that with this pressure, Ryung doesn't have a ground army to stand on. He doesn't have a large bioforce. There's nothing for him to be afraid of. There's the 4th base I was talking about. Or actually, it's going to be a macro hatch, but I feel like he almost could definitely drop that 4th hatchery down right now. He also knows with the Banshees here, there were no medevacs. So Losira feels very safe right now as Ryung transitions into the somewhat late 3rd CC.
Yeah, and really interesting to see the committal to not just 1 but 2 Banshees, but not willing to cloak earlier. Whoa, that is really iffy control. Losing a Banshee right there, will be able to get some auto turret harass, and actually should be pretty effective. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, double morph there on the drones just to keep them alive for a little bit longer. And yeah, 1 surviving Banshee. He's seen things.
I think he's actually going to keep that 2nd Spore Crawler. I can respect this decision. The way he is placed next to those gas geysers will help trap medevacs. They're trying to boost around those bases later on for harassment. The army here for Ryung is quite small, but it's about to have 1-1. It's about to have combat shield. So, Stim is already here. You can use this army, as small as it is, to hold on to a third base, and then very soon get those medevacs out and pressure. But again, going back to like what I was saying earlier about Losira's roach pressure, he accomplished so much with that. Now he can take this fourth base. He has a macro hatch, so he can produce more links. He has more larvae. And despite the fact that the roach harass didn't do a ton of direct damage, the indirect damage of delaying that CC, getting the map control, and how few roaches he actually admitted to, only 7, really works in his favor. And I like his position here quite a lot.
Burrow being researched right now, so that's at least coming, going to be coming into play. The Raven does survive though, so that will be a direct counter if the occasion does arrive. A couple of the Widow Mines still burrowed, have not been taken out just yet, so detection will need to come up there. But a lot of Lings actually running now into the third.
Here they come. SCV is going to force to be pulled here. A lot of this Ling count comes back to that macro hash. In fact, he's just going to commit to the surround here on these Marines. A pickup needs to be placed. No burrow. And only one Hellbat here. And this is just not enough Marines, simply put. They're going to get surrounded here again. This macro hatch, the extra larva allowing this. He's doing so much with this. Now he's got burrow too.
Yeah, he couldn't even raise the depot because he's got Marines actually sitting on the depot, preventing it from being raised. Nice burrow there on the Widow Mines, but he's actually going to have to cancel all 3 of those rags.
Yep. And that's huge. That was the power spike that he was looking for. Now that he has these 3 bases running, now he has these key upgrades for his Marines. He wanted big Marine production. He wanted to get those reactors up. He wanted to really hit this hard. And now he's further behind than he was before. He's going to have 2-2 very shortly for a small Marine count, because not only did he lose the racks that he needed to produce Marines with, he lost several Marines that were caught out there. The wall, like you mentioned, couldn't be raised. And Losira is in great position now, all from just one surprise run by. The aggression I was talking about of Losira, the hyper-aggressive moves, even without Banelings here, really did a number on Ryung. It's going to be difficult to recover.
Wow. Yeah, the little Banshee that could is still alive and out there, but if you guys got a chance to watch the series in premiere earlier on this week between Bjol and Alive, you really got a chance to see what happens when the Zerg is just unharassed. And very similar situation here. Losira just being aggressive enough that Ryung has never really been able to make it out on the map to stop him from going up to now 4 bases. He's almost on his way to maxing out. In fact, I'm pretty sure he could hit that if he wanted to and wasn't spending a bunch of money upgrading a bunch of Banelings here. 22 Zerglings in addition also on the way. This is going to be a lot of Zerg for Ryung to deal with, turtled up on 3 bases.
Absolutely. Look at this. He's going to have to lift. Gets all but, I think, 3 Marines out. Very little creep pushed back here. 17 more Banes. Losira is looking to end this game right now, in typical Losira fashion. The so many Banelings approach, as Hyung Nesti taught him well, and here he comes. Beetleless to stop the units from being picked up into the medevacs. Banelings crash through, and this appears to be the beginning of the end, as these medevacs are now nearly empty, and they are getting pushed away by those Mitas. The high ground Marines, there's very few left. He finally got these barracks up, and now they're going to burn down. He's going to have to lift this base. Big Widow Mine hit here. Oh, wow. A second big Widow Mine hit.
Oh my God!
Still, though, it's just tiny wins here for Ryung.
Oh, the 2 little SCVs will go back to tell their story to their friends. And even though there is more bio rallying out here, there's just too much Zerg on the ground. Streams of Zerglings rallied from Losira's base, and not enough bio on the ground for Ryung.
+1 armor for these Mitas definitely going to be unnecessary, as we have a shot of the creep spread here with how little pressure Ryung was able to put on in this first game. Losira just quite literally ran away with it. That Ling run by was the beginning of trouble. I don't even want to call it a run by, I'd rather call it an assault. And that's it, that's all she wrote. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, every series besides our first one, which could have been an upset, we had a lot of close game 1s with big names, with big favorites. This is going to be another upset game 1. GG, Losira takes the win on Frost. So it's definitely unexpected here for Ryung. I feel like there was a lot of indecisiveness with his build as well, with the cancels, commitments, cancels. It looked like he was faking at first, but then it looked like he was actually committing, and he had all this gas in limbo for a long time. Not to mention the fact that he unfortunately missed the scout with that SCV, which could have given him a better early game, and he never knew those Lings were coming until it was too late.
Yeah, it's kind of rare that you see just a massive amount of Zerglings just really cripple the Terran player quite as much. Got to return Proteus. There's no Protoss in this game, so Proteus gets to hang out with our Gen Air logo. But yeah, really cool to see what the possibility was there. Losira is just like, okay, well, I pushed the Hellions back, didn't lose a whole lot, and now I can macro like a god and come up with way more Zerglings than Ryung was expecting.
The Roach attack as well really put Ryung on the back burner. He was forced to use his Banshees defensively. His third base was delayed. He made it as part of a wall, which then led to the SCV being picked off several times. The bunker building SCVs were picked off several times. He lost some Marines there. He had 1-1 then after this in stim and near combat shields with like maybe 8 Marines on the map to speak of. His Banshee control then afterwards was pitiful. He flew them into Queens. They died immediately, so no value from the Banshees except defending a small commitment of 7 Roaches. Losira has the macro hatch. He makes extra lings, controls the game. Pretty basic. In these positions, the Terran is looking to deny the creep, but Losira shut that down hard with heavy ling pressure. And even the Raven harass wasn't enough to get Ryung back into the game.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. End of the game, Ryung was like almost halfway done with 3-3. So if he had been able to get those 3 racks up and hadn't been canceled by that huge flood of lings, maybe enough bio comes out and it's strong enough to get him to a balanced place. We'll never know because Losira does take game number 1 and pushes in here to game number 2 coming up.
Yeah, I mean it's like he had all the tools but none of the power. It's like if you got a brand new console shipped to your house and it didn't come with a power cable, as excited as you already use it, you just don't have what you need.
Yep. Ryung kind of like a paper gangster. He's got the flavor, but he don't have no follow through. So game number 2, he'll have the opportunity to show us what he has in store here in just a second. There we go. All right, game number 2 on our way. That's a little canceled there. Fly, better fly. I was told to say that every single time. I'm trying to work it into my intro. This is Losira, our purple Zerg player, up in the upper right-hand corner. Almost said left. And we're departing from our yellow and green color scheme.
That's right. And spawn Ryung's the blue. The bottom there on Overgrowth. For a second map.
Correction, earlier I said that TES stood for Team Esports. It's actually True Esports. It was like half a joke, but also actually wrong. So
I just always knew it as TES. I never actually knew what it stood for.
Well, big shout out to I think it was Frankie, Dimitri, and Buffle Bethel. They would all let me know about that on Twitter. If you guys want to get involved with this challenge broadcast, you can of course tweet at ProxyWolf or at RapidCasting. Use the hashtag SSL. And we'll be glad to read your questions, comments, and anything else you have to say on air. Because this is a much more interactive kind of style of casting. It's a little bit more relaxed. There we go. Reacts. It's when you axe something the second time. When not one axe will do, you need to
Gotta do it a second time. Sometimes that's how you gotta do it.
Happens all the time in games like Symphony of the Night, Castlevania games. Lots of axes being thrown in there. Reacts to many opponents in that game.
Me too. Every time I get my halberd axe in Zelda Breath of the Wild and I realize I could replace something else, I throw that axe at somebody, get rid of it. Pick up that 5 millionth champion sword, or what's it, the knight's broadsword. I'm like, well, this is better. I guess I'll just take this every time. So as we go into the second game here, Overgrowth, the rush distance is pretty short between bases. The aggression that we're going to see from Ryung is definitely going to be tougher for Losira to deal with. He may take a similar Roach approach. Let's not forget Losira is famous for his Roach aggression, even going back to the old GSL days in like 2011, 2012. If you remember the map Crossfire, Losira was the first player to ever forward gold base hatch into a 3 Roach push, which became a popular strategy later on. He was the first to really make that build popular in televised matches. Used it in the GSTL, used it in the GSL Code A, where he was actually champion. There's a lot of different types of ways of being aggressive. Losira kind of covers all of them. He's going to be the guy who has 70 Banelings in the late game. He's going to be the guy who does a 7 Roach push and then transitions into a macro game afterwards. just what he's good at. And Ryung is also a very aggressive player. As I mentioned before, if Ryung plays a more defensive style, I think that's going to be the way to go. In that first game, though, a little bit indecisive and just got outplayed.
Yep, and now coming into game number 2, going with the same build. This time, he will be committing to Cloak. So this is sort of the second time's the charm idea. We'll finally get a chance to see what Losira was going for. Oh, Depot, it's down, and that means that, oh wow, a lot of information going to go over to Losira right now. He'll see the Cloak, he'll get into the main, he'll know what's coming his way, and he actually will get a couple of SCVs. Because
almost feels like Ryung doesn't even realize this is happening.
Like, did he just not expect Losira to scout at all? I mean, he's going to go through here and might actually get quite a few drones. Oh my god, they're actually lining up very well. 10 drones getting taken out.
Let's just forget about the Zergling in the room for a minute, because that just should not have happened.
More than paying for itself.
He was very not indecisive, very non-responsive with his Hellions. They sat there for quite some time after getting vision of the third base. And then I guess that Hail Mary run-through with Losira happened to be controlling his Lings really worked out. Ooh, Banshee turning around.
Okay, yeah, definitely don't want to turn around on the Banshee. More Hellions popping out here, and no way those Zerglings will get anything done. Oh my god. Yeah, seeing that Banshee turn around really kind of... I mean, you're supposed to be able to use that tech advantage like as soon as possible.
ASAP, man.
You know, that's what as soon as possible stands for.
You mean that's what ASAP stands for? Ah, gotcha, got him.
Oh my god, get me out of here. I'll be solo casting the rest of this next time.
So, look, this may even be, well, as I said, I realized the stem is on the way. I was going to say with how much he's committed to Hellions, this may even be a mech-type build. We saw it a lot in the past on this map. You can get 4 bases up pretty free, especially if you're on even standing. Losira's droning up like a madman. He did actually lose several drones to the Hellion attack, but he's also lost several drones to how many Spore Crawlers he's committed to. I mean, he made 3, and then he made several cancels, and despite the cancels, still lost 2 drones. So his worker count, even though he was droning like a madman, is still pretty competitive with Ryung at 45 to 43 currently, as he makes some additional queens. This is a nice place to put your Banshee when your opponent already has spores up, just on the ramp, catch those transferring drones, and he's got a third base finished. He's going to need to move it over to that third base location.
Completely walling off the natural. That's going to be completed in, I think, 1 more supply depot. So Losira kind of doing that TY thing where you just like set up your base in a way that is really going to lock it down. Kind of awkward that those 2 Zerglings got in earlier on, but it doesn't seem to have derailed Ryung's build quite as much as happened in game number 1. So things still right on track.
Despite the fact that several spores have been made, this Banshee is still finding pressure here. It's still laying creep spread. It's catching and transferring drones. And this is, again, an abusive way to play against Losira's playstyle. He's a late layer Zerg. He likes to stay on hatchery tech for a long time, be that for aggression or safety. We're seeing it here once again in this game. Both games he got fast Evo chambers, he's getting fast 1-1 upgrades, he's got his Baneling Nest on the way. While the layer being so late here means that there's just no Overseer play whatsoever. So the Banshee's actually got a lot of value this time, helped delay that creep spread. No Overlord to block this CC either, unfortunately, so Ryung is going to get that for free.
Well, I mean, the Overlord was there, he just didn't block it with it, so... Yeah, third CC going to go down. Fourth hatch is coming up for Losira, so both players continuing to bolster their economies, but finally Ryung pushing out of the map. We'll see what the units he's built so far can do. This is kind of a motley crew. He did lose the Hellions earlier on, but not without getting a lot of value there. But so he won't have those here with this army. He will have those Banshees, so I'm really kind of curious to see what he can accomplish with those now in his army as opposed to game 1.
Well, gets a ton of damage done to that creep already. No Baneling speed even started yet for Losira. He's got a run-by of Lings, which will actually accomplish a little bit here. 7 SCVs down. Maybe even some friendly fire there with the Widow Mines to help secure some of those kills. So pretty significant damage done to the economy of Ryung, but at the same time he's pushed this creep back, and now he's going to get free Baneling kills. He realizes Baneling speed is not done. He knew there was no lair, and he is really pushing this.
Wow, yeah, lots of value. Sniping off those Banelings, a little bit Beyond-esque, but I mean, they're the only things there, so it's not like it took a lot of micro to take those out. And now pushing forward with 4 Widow Mines. This is actually going to be fairly scary. He's got medevac support, finally adding in these Banshees to his attacking force instead of defense.
Look at the centrifugal hooks upgrade. It's only a third of the way done. This actually just may be game. He has a great setup here with his Widow Mines. Combat shield's done. He has +2 on the way here, but it's not necessarily going to be needed to finish this game. The Widow Mine hits here, not very good. Oh, the second one is.
Yeah, I spoke too soon there. All the Banelings getting taken out. Okay, as I say that, there's more elsewhere. What I meant
But still no
was
speed, Rapid, and this is a big problem here. He has no Baneling speed. Didn't clear all the Widow Mines. This hit doesn't even go off there onto the Banelings. Doesn't need it. The Queens are bruised, and now he can actually just unload and set up for another push. 8 more Banes on the way. This time he's going to have speed for the next fight when those Banelings do finish morphing, but this game is already all but over as he's cleared most of this army. He has this parade follow-up of Marines, the second rallied wave coming across here, and even without the +2 upgrades, he is just doing some serious work. Enough energy left on these medevacs to heal up one more time, and right now Losira is on the edge of defeat.
Indeed, he is going to be able to once again pick up, run back away. He can do this all day long. There's no, or at least very little anti-air aside from those Queens in Losira's army. And, you know, I feel like this is where Ryung was like almost getting to in game number 1. He just, got really set back by Losira's big flood of Lings. Losing those drones early on meant that, hey, that's larva that could have been put towards Lings. And just seeing a different version of that game 1 this time. Ryung in a great spot.
Absolutely, man.
Still trying to do that Ling run by, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking for it, but there's a lot of units back at home just to sit on rally because you don't want to rally across scared of Ling run bys like this one, either catching his reinforcements, but also perhaps doing damage to the base. So with his tiny first army, Ryung finds some value, kills some Lings, picks up. He's got a large medevac count now. He's going to have 2-2 this time. Finds a free opening into the base, can actually rally the rest of his units over. I mean, this is just 2 medevacs worth of units. This isn't even an army per se. While it forces the rest of the units back, Ryung gets a scan off here, clears all this creep. He has a whole set of upgrades advantage right now. A few meters are coming out, but it's so few that it just feels insignificant. It feels pointless almost to make them at this point, as Ryung just continues to clear and march forward with a small army here. And I feel like he doesn't even realize how far ahead he is. He simply could just walk across the map, march across to end it. It's giving Losira potentially a window back into this game, but at about half the size of army and down a whole set of upgrades, any direct fight that Losira takes is not going to go to his favor.
Yep. Yeah, and here come in the Mutas. Banelings rolling in, but they will all get taken down. Not a single one connecting, and as all good followers of Le Church of Todd would do, if you look at the supply, you're going to see workers pretty even, but almost doubling up Losira in army. I mean, Ryung just setting up with a huge parade of bio once again, coming up 3-3, halfway done. So even if this push doesn't work, I mean, the next one's just going to be so insane.
Hey, here they come. This group of Banelings is coming in, rolling down the hill here. A few Widow Mines are set up. How good will the shots be? Decent is the answer. A lot of speed banks at the back here, not together with the army. This is a heavily upgraded Terran army.
Oh my god.
This is a nice run by here. 12 kills, but that's Banelings not in the army. And look at this, Marauders up at the front to tank. And I mean, not only did Losira just now catch up on upgrades, 10 seconds away from Carapace level 2, level 3 for both attack and armor here for Ryung is just around the corner, and he is sealing the deal in this game, moving forward. Not enough Banelings here to crush this army. Not even close.
Indeed. This is where you ask Ryung what his plan is. Like, it's simple. We kill the Zerg. And great splits, continually resplitting his army over and over again. Banelings not connecting. Not enough Zerg left alive, and Ryung will tie this series up at 1-1.
And we're going to our third best of 3 of potentially 4 third games.
Wow.
Going to max set possible potentially here tonight, Rapid, if things continue this way. I like the analogy you drew, basically, because we saw two very similar games in Game 1 and 2, and Game 2 is what if Ryung got everything he wanted, and Losira just got crushed there. Had a late baneling speed, couldn't fight, and basically was just trickling units in to just try to stay alive, and Ryung eventually conquered and won out.
Indeed, he did. I was like, okay, well, today is going to be a little bit of a shorter day. When I was casting Premiere with Brendan earlier on this week, we actually had 3 games that were just 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is going to be a fast day. Well, now we're going the distance. You guys are getting your money's worth, which is where we reveal that you aren't paying anything. Oh, my God.
Well, they're really getting their money's worth, man.
Well, if you could pay us in, like, retweets or, arrows that are pointed in a vaguely heavenward direction.
Yeah, all the people posting on that I'vereddit.com site, the Team Lickit webpage, and the Liquid Peanuts, updating the stats and stuff. We all really appreciate it. That you've got the solidarity to stick with us here as we move through the evening. Now, Game 3 here on Star League's Challenge SSL Series 2017 Season 1. We go into this third map. Sponsored by Genera. Now, to be honest, I don't remember what map it was, but we're going to go into it, and this will decide our third best of 3 of the evening. A lot of money here on the line, about $200 versus $100.
That's very true.
Prize money.
And here we go. Game number 3. Let's go. All right. We're going to take off on Jin Air into our third set and our third match and our first day fly. Better fly. Yes. All right, our purple Zerg player down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. This is Losira.
And opponent. Go for it.
No, you go first.
All right. Okay. It is Ryung.
Playing
True Esports.
Yeah, True Esports. I was going to say that's like Tiger Esports, but it's actually a Puma instead.
It looks like the Thundercats emblem.
Indeed it is. I always thought it was...
Thundercats.
Big fan of that show, man. Especially if you get to watch...
What was the character's name? Like Snarf or something? He was like,
oh, God. Yeah, Snarf was like Jar Jar Binks wish he could have been. If I could, like, mercilessly slay one cartoon character, Snarf is, like, top of my list, man. Oh my God, that character was annoying.
I'm trying to think of like cartoon characters I didn't particularly like. I was a pretty big fan of all the antagonist characters that were kind of annoying, like DW and Arthur and Friends.
Oh gosh,
Mandark and Dexter's Laboratory. These kind of annoying characters. DD. These characters that
Scrappy Doo.
Scrappy Doo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, these types of characters that were like either they're antagonists or just frustrating to the main character, and they're very Jar Jar-esque.
If you want to move from cartoons into anime, I think Mei Ling from Fullmetal Brotherhood.
Yes,
definitely on that list of most annoying.
Absolutely.
Would mercilessly annihilate characters. I forget where we were really going with that analogy. I'm just
saying, like, I have no idea where we're going either.
Yeah. Funny how that happens. This is where we use the fact that this is SSL Challenge and we don't have to be super serious to defend our lack of, I guess, train of thought.
Anyway, bottom line is you hated Snarf. I always liked him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. TES's logo.
Yeah, the Thundercats emblem.
It always like really surprised me because it's Lion-O's the main character, but it's actually just like a Puma as the logo. I'm like, well, that's not actually the right guy. The Puma was actually like a minor character comparatively. Unless you want to call it a mountain lion if you're one of those people.
I feel like this TES logo and the Rocket logo really drew a lot.
We got maybe they
drew a lot of inspiration from Thundercats. We're gonna have another 7 Roach push, by the way.
I'm glad our observer is like circling that. Is like, guys, talk about the actual game. Nobody cares about Thundercats.
I'm pretty sure Korean commentators are talking about Thundercats right now too, Rapid.
Little did they know, lots of people care about that. And in fact, I think there was supposed to be like a live-action movie of that, but I'm not sure if that's still out there.
There was a reboot of the TV show.
Oh God, well,
I saw 2 episodes and then I decided rather than kill myself, I should just stop watching.
Yikes.
We see the scout here, and this is a much faster Roach push than the one we saw previously, so he has to bunker the top of his ramp. He's going to abandon his natural. Hellions are going to try to buy time, and he also wants to see if this is an all-in. Like, is he massing lings behind this or what? So the Hellions are going to sneak around to try to check that and also to perhaps do some harassment. The reactor here Gonna be part of the wall. That's always unfortunate.
Oh my
but this
God.
bunker doesn't finish, and he needs that.
Yeah, this is scenes from game number 1. Another, nice few Hellion hits, but he's got to make sure he can defend at home. Finally, bunker gets up, but still lots of
One Marine in there.
SCVs dedicated to repairing. He's not actually going to be able to repair that bunker, and that means these Roachers are going to get a lot of value.
He's not repairing. Okay, he needs to repair. Cyclone pops out here. He's going to have a Banshee in a second. The second Marine's going to come over here and help as well. This should be a held push. A lot of SCVs going down in the process, but he survives. 4 drones going down counterwise, and I believe both Hellions are dead. And when the dust settles here, I believe this is a pretty easy transition for Losira. He definitely, had he committed heavier to this, like had he all in with Lings or something, probably wouldn't have been able to break through, and this would have been disastrous. Now he's got a lair coming up. He's got spores coming up for the Banshee. He's already scouted, and all the lost mining from that CC, all the dead SCVs, really work in his favor. So it wasn't an all-in, but it definitely was super aggressive, and he got the return he needed to make a transition.
Yeah, Roaches came out way faster this time too, or not way faster, but a little bit faster. So if you look at just the worker supply, you're going to see that even though we did see a little bit of an effective Hellion harass, massively in Losira's favor right now. He also knows exactly what's coming his way. Spores up, Roaches to defend, and Ryung, man. This is really reminding me a lot of game number 1. Losira more than well equipped to defend and should start to be looking towards that third base, knowing that he's in a pretty good spot.
That he is. His Ling speed's about to finish. This Overlord just got pushed out of his really appreciated resting place. It's hot here, Belster Veggies. I like that little fan. I gotta get that little breeze. Vikings.
And that's why the Overlord's there. It's gonna cool off.
Yeah, exactly. The Vikings ruin his day. No scouting, no loitering, and Ryung isn't dead by any means, but he's going to have to try to somehow, with a mediocre SCV count, build up a force that can harass with the stim research that he was able to secure, and then try to hold him to the third base. But Losira is going into Nidus network. He's got Roach speed. He's not even going to allow this game to even reach mid-game. He wants to end it now with the advantage he has. He wants to overwhelm Ryung.
Scouting Viking coming out here, I mean, if that dives deep enough, he'll be able to see that Nidus. It's in the back of the natural, so easily protectable. We'll see any Roaches that do push out here. So the big thing for me is I'm sort of checking off things. It's is this the first game or the second game? And now all we have to do is see whether or not Ryung loses to a Ling run by, and that's definitely what this Nidus could set up.
I mean, I think it's just going to be pure Roaches, to be honest. I mean, he's going to rally Lings behind it, but this Changeling is going to give vision. The Nidus comes out.
Goodness. Queen's even out there as well, and
the tank's not even ready?
Nope.
He's only got a Cyclone here. Barracks canceled immediately.
Oh, no.
He's going to be supply blocked. And you know what? Losira could have actually just tried to run up the ramp here, but now he knows it doesn't matter. Killing this many depots this suddenly, Ryung had no idea. He's not even going to be making any units.
He's out of 38 supply, guys. Wow, hard to defend a push that you can't build units to defend
if you call down supply here, then you're losing mules, and you're on one base, and you have a weakened SCV count. So, yeah, you just let call down supply, but he's wasting money essentially doing that.
He also had to call down supply on a forward depot, so I mean, if you're going to get that hit by Ravager Bile, that's bonus.
Don't forget, the Nidus is still usable leader. Can absolutely nice in the main, can continue to put this pressure on. He's going to creep spread into the natural so that it can't even build a CC. And as it turns out, Nidus network can be used both ways. So when Ryung hits with this, he just goes home and defends with the units he has. It's going to come straight to natural. Only scary moment is if he loses the Nidus here in the natural before you get the units back. But as it turns out, it's insta-travel. And this will actually be GG here, I imagine, as Ryung tries to find a way in it. Oh, unacceptable landing zone.
Sorry, Command Center, you are not going to be able to make it back there. Look at all of this creep that's now being spread across the map into the natural. Ryung, you get nowhere to go.
Nope. You're going nowhere. Going nowhere fast. He's going to get, try to maybe land at the third base of the bottom, then be overwhelmed by everything that's coming. So you have Infestors on the way, by the way.
Oh my god.
Oh, he can't miss that top tumor. He has to get that. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I was worried for a second.
Well, he actually had to wait there on the scan a little bit. I thought he might not have enough energy because he used that call down supply a little bit earlier.
And his other orbital's in the air.
Oh,
oh, get it.
Nice.
Queens out of there. Peace.
Finally does deal with that Nidus Worm, and wow, this is just the roughest spot that we've seen Ryung in. Definitely reminded me a lot more of that game number 1, but a cool way to do it. You don't see a lot of Zergs experimenting with a lot of Nidus networks these days.
Okay,
so.
well, this is actually a good opportunity. You know, it's a late third base from Losira. He's long distance mining right now. Gotta watch out for the bungle, though.
Oh, Infestors. Oh, we gotta move the Medivac. And he will get it out of there.
Wow. Just out of range. Did the early cast on that one.
Just like that, the pitch of my voice was just out of range of my...
just slightly.
just slightly. Gosh.
Well...
Okay, if you don't burrow the one Infestor, he kind of gives it away that there's other Infestors
Hey, not
right
necessarily, though.
Okay, there we go. It does get
Could
the
give him
burrow.
a false sense of security that there's nothing else about that one and he just miscontrolled. Could be a track. Okay, this is still a strong Terran army, but with the fungals available, I just can't imagine this working. He needs to split. He does. Here come the Infestors from behind, though. No scan. He just used it. Oh, man.
There it is. Raining down. Corrosive Biles all over Ryung's army. There's way too much Zerg. Crushing down, and Losira will take a 2-1 victory over Ryung.
We have an upset here considering the great performance of Ryung in GSL. I think he was definitely more known for his TVT and TVP throughout that tournament. But either way, Losira came with all the answers today and had really tight builds. Even going into the Infestors there, looked like a practice transition. Controlled that game from start to finish. Yes, he had the issue of dealing with the Hellion run by, but he did so much more damage with those roaches than he should have been able to do. And that's all that happened. If the bunker was just maybe a little bit further back, maybe he just continues to wall with buildings, keeps the depots up, and then eventually holds there. But he lost 16, 17 SCVs trying to build a bunker that only one Marine was in anyways. Got the Cyclone out, but the damage was done. The Hellions got cleaned up. And, yeah, it was just me summing up the game as we do before the commercial break.
That, as they say, Wolf, is how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
I've always just been a fan of crumbly cookies, so I'm just like, well, that's actually a good thing. Not when it comes to StarCraft.
I like the soft ones.
Those are actually pretty good, too. We have those, like, soft-baked oh, my God. All right. I'm an equal opportunity cookieist, guys. It's just that soft ones are not, like, the analogies are not very forthcoming. It's like, well, that game was like a... No, it doesn't work that way. But crumbling down is exactly what happened. We're going to take a quick commercial break and reanimate our cookies. When we come back with our last series of the night, guys, don't go anywhere.